Hi Sag, it's Amber here from Symbols for Living. Welcome to your June. How does he or she feel about me reading? Apologies for the May readings not coming up, but unfortunately it just wasn't meant to be. Mercury retrograde had better ideas for your readings, so I do apologise, but I hope that you enjoyed this one. So yeah, this reading is answering that question: how does your partner, love interest, the person that you have your eye on, how do they feel about you? So essentially we've got, as you probably may be familiar with already, we've got how they feel about you, what their intention is, what they're thinking about and future outcomes, and a bit of background information as to what happened in the near past with the relationship from their perspective. I'd also like to mention at the base of the deck we have got the King of Cups. So I would say that overall the person that's interested in you is quite a mature person, possibly male, possibly over the age of 35, a water sign, Scorpio, Pisces or Cancer. And if not that way, they're just very much in love or very much emotionally in tune with you. Or it could just be that their emotions are becoming more of a thing for them. So maybe before they could have been very grounded, very practical, you are stirring these emotions in them. So it could be interpreted that way too. I do see 2 earth signs here though, and a couple more earth energies here. And then we have the Empress. So I'm inclined to say the person you're seeing is quite a grounded person, and is probably most likely going to be an earth sign person. That will be a Virgo, Capricorn or Taurus individual. So yeah, they could be usually quite practical, but you're stirring their emotions at the moment. How they see you at the moment, or how they feel about you at the moment. Here we've got the Justice card and the 6 of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles. Now when I saw this initially, I thought, well, it looks like someone's kind of weighing up their pros and cons, coming to a decision and moving on, albeit at a slow pace with the Knight of Pentacles here. So it looks like the advice here is to kind of maybe slow things down, to really think about the future, think about the decisions that you're making for the future. And this advice, the advice positions are really for the querent, and there could be also advice for the actual person you're inquiring about. So the advice could be to your partner that they should really take the time to slow down before they make a decision. Don't rush into anything. In fact, don't act at all until you're completely sure of where you're going. And that might be why the Justice card is here, because Justice card is a major arcana card, so it is a fairly slow moving energy in comparison to the other pip cards in the deck. So it looks like your partner is trying to make a careful decision, and this decision could be around them possibly ending a relationship to be with you, maybe. Because the Justice card does talk about divorce as well. So if this person's interested in you and they are maybe committed in marriage to somebody else, they could be looking at moving away from that situation. They could see you as something that they would like to move on with. It could also mean though that this person that you're interested in thinks that you're moving away, thinks that you're weighing up your options, that you're unsure, that you've got a decision to make, and that you're really looking to move on because you just want peace of mind and stability, possibly as well. Because we have got him here. I think this is representing him. I keep saying him, it could be a her. But I think this is representing their overall energy. There's definitely a lot of love and a lot of care in the relationship, a lot of maturity as well. We do have, you know, the Justice card, and we've got the King of Pentacles, got the Queen of Cups, another King, and the Empress. So it does talk to there being a certain level of maturity in the relationship. So I think they're being quite mature about things, being quite grown up. It might be why you're kind of really taking the time to consider the decision that you need to make very carefully, rather than rushing in. A lot of careful thinking is going on. You've got the Judgment card here, which talks about reflection. The Three of Wands, again, waiting, reflection. So yeah, I think for this month there'll be a high emotion in the relationship, and things will maybe seem to kind of be slowing down in some way. And that might be why here is why here in the intentions of your partner, you kind of, these two cards do speak of movement, you know, and progression, achievement, you know, moving on up, moving forward. And these are his or her intentions. So I think they recognise that there has been a slowing down in things. There has been a lot of contemplation and waiting in the relationship. And they are looking to speed things up. I think their intentions is to kind of get things moving in some way, either to send you a message. The message that you receive could be quite shocking in the sense that you wouldn't have been expecting it. But with the Six of Wands here, it looks like no matter what the message that you do get, it's likely to be positive. You may feel very appreciated. You may feel like you finally won something, like you finally got somewhere with something. And I think because as well, even though strictly speaking this is a Wands card, not a, you know, Cups card, they do often, it is heavily associated with messages of love. And it's interesting when we look at the rest of the other cards, especially the King of Cups, I do feel like you will be getting a message from your partner that will likely be along the lines of, I'd like to, you know, have a relationship with you. And it will be a shock for you. Because these are his intentions or her intentions. Whether or not this happens or not is another thing. I have noticed in the readings that the intention doesn't always mean they're actually going to do that, but their intentions are, so they're thinking of such, their intentions are to do as much, but what actually happens in the final outcome is what it is. But they're intending to, you know, they probably want to express to you how they feel, but maybe it's, for them, it's still quite an awakening revelation for them, you know, to really realise with the Justice card here how they really feel about the situation. It may be a revelation for them themselves. And they might need to kind of get to grips with it a little bit, because the Tower card again is a major arcana. It's going to take a little bit longer for things to settle down or settle in when these kind of energies impact our lives. So in terms of what they're thinking, again, another awakening here with the Judgment card. So there's some sort of awakening they're coming to, some sort of truth they're finally coming to know that they maybe weren't aware of before. It could be that they've been harbouring feelings for you for some time but haven't said anything, and maybe have approached you in the past but maybe saw you as, and now sees you as someone who wants to make a decision, doesn't know what they want to do with the offer that's been given to them. And now, you know, they're kind of still in that waiting phase, and I think that waiting phase for them is making them feel quite emotional. with the Queen of Cups, and they are advising, you know, possibly, you know, this is also your advice. It's to be compassionate in terms of how the person is feeling, to show compassion and empathy for them, I guess. That's the advice being given here. So, you know, if there is a harsh truth that needs to come out, you know, this month, try your best. You know, it looks like you'll be winning either way, to be honest. But you will need to make sure that you do use tact, you are compassionate, and all of that kind of good stuff. To make sure that there's not too much blood spilt, if you know what I mean. There's not too much collateral damage kind of thing. And yeah, they're just waiting to hear back. I think it looks like they've really sent out a message and they're waiting for something to come back. And they're quite hopeful about the future. They see a lot of potential in the situation. I think they are in some way embarking on something new. Trying a new approach as well. Or thinking about trying a new approach maybe with you. But I think definitely, like I said, I mean, initially, it's like someone isn't actually usually emotional, but now they are, just for this month. That was the first message that really came through, so I would say that's what's happening here, is that someone may have been bottling up their feelings, may have been ignoring their feelings, may be more focused on work and other ambitions, because we've got the person here in the past feeling quite restricted, not being very expressive, being very action orientated though, you know, getting on with things, still being very passionate maybe about you know, their day-to-day endeavours, but still having a very limited perception of things, still at the same time hemming themselves in. So even when they maybe have seen freedom, it's like actually a broken perspective in a sense. It's a very limited perspective that they had before, or they felt very trapped in their own minds and possibly unable to act. It could be the very fact that they did feel hemmed in mentally, they did feel trapped mentally. It could have been, as I said, a past relationship that kind of had them hemmed in, made them feel like they only had a certain amount of options available to them. Like, you know, they might have thought, oh, I'm married, I can, you know, there's not much else I can really do now, or I have kids with this person, there's not much I can really do now, I have to just kind of stay in a situation. When it looks like at some point your partner had this kind of realization that actually it just requires them to take a step out and try something new, be a bit passionate, be a bit courageous, and you know, your perception will soon be clearer and more positive. And it could be that that's what this relationship has brought this person. It's given them something else maybe to look forward to, something new to try. And you know, then we've got him or her down here with this revelation again, this new, waiting for their ships to come in, trying something new to see what comes back, you know. So it looks like someone's broken out of their shell, broken out of this kind of restriction that they had, and they're now ready to explore what is on offer in a kind of with complete abandon, in a sense. You know, with the Knight of Rods, doesn't really hold back very much. It has no need to. it could also be that he felt before that, you know, this relationship was really just a kind of sexual relationship. And he, you know, he's got his back turned to this woman who feels trapped. Now, this woman could feel trapped because she could be, you know, attached to, you know, this person could be attached to this person who wants to be free, wants to be able to explore and do all the things they want to do, basically be a player in one sense. Whilst there's maybe someone who's devoted to him who feels like maybe they can't move forward or they can't move on because maybe they're, you know, mentally they've kind of told themselves that they're with this person and they're committed and devoted to this person, and there's not much, as far as they can see, they're just kind of tunnel vision with this person. Whereas maybe your partner, and this could be you, and your partner could be like, well, I like to kind of be free and have no restrictions, which makes you feel restricted because then you can't express yourself and say what you want to say. So he could have really kind of noticed that before, or maybe you guys had a discussion about it with the swords being there. And then we got the King of Pentacles as the advice, so it could be that as an outcome, yeah, you know, you've got the Knight of Pentacles here as well. There was some sort of maturing. There was some sort of maybe awareness that actually he's got a responsibility here and that there are consequences to the actions that he's taking or she's taking. Because the King of Pentacles reminds us of, you know, consequences, the reality of things, being practical and taking responsibility for what's in your world, and especially what brings you something. If something brings you money or value, then you have a responsibility to nurture it and look after it. And I think he may or she may have kind of come to this sort of awareness recently, and that's probably what this is all about. And then they find themselves at this decision point where they have to make a choice as to how they're going to move forward. And it looks like the advice to them is the Knight of Pentacles. They will be best advised to continue down a more, you know, rather than the Knight of Rods be the Knight of Pentacles, to still have that kind of youthful edge to you, you know, youthful edge to them, but in a more practical, grounded way, in order for there to be peace and justice and fairness. And they could be actually trying to make things right with you as well, and trying to be fair with you as well. Sorry about that, I've got a cough. But yeah, yeah, I think he's becoming more grounded. But it's like a revelation for him. It's a revelation for him or her. But it's a truth that they cannot deny. And it's caused them to be quite emotional. And then we've got here in the near future, we've got a certain amount of being closed off with the Empress card to help clarify. So in the near future, you could find that there's a certain amount of stagnation and non-movement still. The Knight of Pentacles doesn't like to move very fast, as you may know. And then we've got like 3 major arcana. We've also got the 3 of Wands. So it looks like there's a waiting period. Things may take their time, and it may feel like nothing's really moving, but really what's happening is things are maybe slowly growing. it is still fertile, even though it seems like nothing's happening. Actually, a lot is maybe happening behind the scenes as well, because the Empress card does represent pregnancy, and pregnancy goes on behind the scenes. You know, we don't see the baby growing, we see the tummy protruding, but you know, it's still very much behind the scenes. You don't really get to see what's actually happening. So that's what I think happens here towards the end of June, is that things just really, again, kind of remain at a slow pace, even though like your partner may want to move things forward, does come and talk to you about how they feel. There still may not be any sort of progression as such. It may still feel very stagnant, but then it can also feel very secure, because we've got you know, movement here with the Knight of Rods and then 6, and suddenly everything slows down and is still. So it could be that you guys do find, or that your partner more so, does become more grounded, but almost it seems to a grinding halt here. But even though it seems that way, as I said, it looks like there's still a lot going on behind the scenes. There are changes happening within him, and ultimately, you know, it represents birth. It's almost like he's coming into his own, or she's coming into her own. It's like a new birth of an individual, in a sense. That's how I'm reading the whole reading. And yeah, just again here it talks about cooperation, working together to make things work. So more give and take, more balance, more justice, more everyone kind of knowing their role. It could be that this person is actually just becoming more compassionate. Again, they may not have had very much compassion in the past due to past pains, hurts, limited perspectives or whatever, but this awareness has actually opened up their heart, I think, in ways I don't think that they were expecting. And then we've got Nine of Wands and the Four of Swords, which talks about peace again. You know, having to go through quite a lot of hardship, and having to be quite determined. So it looks like your partner, or the person you're interested in, is determined to make this work. Even though there may have been a lot of cuts and bruises along the way, a lot of difficult times in the past, maybe in their previous relationships or in the relationship that you guys share, moving forward, I think they are quite determined to make it work and work with you here in the Three of Pentacles. This is really general, so it's hard to get every single particular angle for each person, but that's the main story that's coming out of this. As I said, it could be that someone is leaving, someone's made a decision to leave, but is doing it quite slowly. So it could be like mentally they've made a decision to leave, but they haven't actually left yet because they're carefully trying to plan their next move before they move. They don't want to just move and not have a plan. So they're carefully looking at their options, carefully looking to see, like, you know, if this is a divorce, like looking to see like what they own, what they don't own, what their name is on, what their name isn't on, how can they avoid, do you know what I mean? Looking at their finances to see how is the best way to proceed. And then we've got here the Four of Pentacles, that person continues to hold on to their money, and may have even been, or in the future, plans to, the 2 3s here, have other relationships in a way, or you may have to work with other people to, they may be collaborating with others to help them maintain their wealth. To ensure that they end up financially secure. They could be very concerned about that. You know, judgment may have come in. So, you know, if this is a breakup, this person is very emotional about things. You guys probably were a very good couple. You know, with the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups here, you definitely had a true connection. But it looks like maybe, you know, your partner has decided to embark on a new journey, and, you know, there's been like a final judgment, final decision that's been made, possibly in the courts, between a mother and a father. You may have kids together. You know, and you know, this also represents the father. So some sort of father figure as well. You know, this could be for a guy who, you know, who is feeling this way. You know, your partner could be male, who's a father, who's leaving. And there's a chance here as well with the 2 3s, another 3 here, and the Knight of Rods, that there could have been some infidelities. And that could be why, you know, I think this represents you. That could be why there was this feeling of being trapped, like just bogged down with like negative thoughts and constantly maybe ruminating over why that person ever did that and why that person did that and was it because of me and da 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 and all those thoughts. They kind of make you feel trapped while he's possibly out, you know, seeking company from other women. Or it could be that, you know, he is the one that felt quite trapped and that's why he's kind of broke out there, but having to realise that it's not as easy as just breaking out like that. You need to do the Knight of Pentacles and do it the right way. And ultimately, as King of Pentacles, you have a responsibility. Interestingly enough, his intentions is to communicate something to you which it looks like will be in your favour. Which is interesting because the reading so far, when interpreted this way, that isn't clear initially, but you know, love messages, you know, it could be that you want this as well. It could be that he finally tells you, you know, this is not, you know, I've had a revelation. You know, it could be that he could be saying, you know, I'm in love with somebody. That's a possibility. But for you, it could be just what you needed to hear to make sure the divorce goes your way. You know. Because here we have a victory here. But that's just one interpretation. So if you're completely single, it looks like definitely an earth sign could be coming into your life, Sagittarius. Could also be a Libra. But any new person that comes into your life will be looking at you as someone who is quite honest with themselves and possibly on a journey themselves. You know, they may see you as someone who's kind of on a journey of growth. We've got the Justice card here, so, and the 6 of Swords. So he may see you as someone who kind of demands justice, you know, really like demands it. Like that's what you're all about. You're all about fairness and equality and, you know, and that's your thing. You're kind of a no, you know, sees you as very intelligent and honest. And may see you as a breath of fresh air, like, you know, you actually make him maybe feel more grounded and like you're more peaceful. You know, you don't like arguments, you just say it how it is. You know, and he may actually respect that. And that actually is a strong Sagittarius trait, is to kind of say things how they are. You know, that honesty aspect about you, that person's really going to appreciate. And I think we'll actually find that quite relaxing for them. It gives them a kind of peace of mind and makes them feel very grounded. they will be taking things slowly. They may see you as also taking things slowly. And in the near future, it looks like, again, as it develops, if it develops, it will develop again very slowly. There's a certain amount or lack of trust, maybe on your partner's part or on this person's part, to open up. They could be very focused on their money right now, absolutely. Working really hard with others to develop their career goals. So they could be kind of closed off and slow to move. But the advice here is to work with them. You know, yes, the Justice card makes sure everything's fair and balanced, but to work with this person, because it looks good. The Empress does promise that there is some sort of abundance there. You know, there is a lot of fruitfulness in this connection, and they possibly are also feeling quite positive about the connection, and you can see a lot of potential, and it's very fertile right now. But maybe they just want to take things slowly, maybe they're still focusing on work. And there's also a possibility that they're still, you know, if they are completely single, they're still seeing other people. With the Knight of Rods here, and the threes that have popped up. It could be that they are still kind of seeing other people, and that might be why this person's really taking it slow with you, because they are seeing others. Maybe it's lightly dating. I can't see any like major relationships really. It could also be as well that you're having to deal with someone who has children, or your partner, you know, yeah, someone that has kids, and you're having to kind of collaborate with them or work with them and kind of unite families in a way. And that could also be why this person is a bit protective and a bit enclosed off, because they have something to protect. They have their family to protect. And so that might be why as well they're kind of a bit slow with you. They don't really want to just like rush into anything. But they like your honesty, and they appreciate that. They see you're a very fair person. And it looks like, you know, they do intend to, you know, this might be moving slowly, but they do intend to finally actually tell you that they do want to be with you. And, you know, as I said, you will be successful. And you probably will be shocked, because maybe right now you don't even realise, because with this so much closed off energy, you know, with the Eight of Swords as well, this, in the near past, like, they haven't been that expressive so far, maybe, you know. So you may not even be aware of it. And it's likely to be an earth sign. But they will come to you with a shock, and you will feel very happy about it. It probably will be a message they send to you, possibly like a text message or something on Instagram, or some sort of message they send to you that will be a very, very pleasant surprise. But then there's this like holding period for some reason. Yeah, I think they will send it. I don't think it's just an intention. I think they actually will do that. Because the Tower card can't happen. You can't sit on the Tower card when it happens. You have to say something. So I think they will be, yeah, contacting you. And in the near past, in terms of how they felt about you, this person, again, they might have felt like they couldn't really speak to you, or didn't know what to say, didn't know what the right thing was to say, had too many doubts about themselves, about the situation, and they were a bit of a player anyway, but they know deep down that they are, you know, a Pentacles person, and that they do want something more solid going forward. So yeah, hope that helps. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle some cards from the Amira Love Oracle deck for love. See what comes out for you guys for the month of June. Okay, something on the floor, but I'm not taking them. They did not turn the right way up. So we've got obstacles being the spiritual advice, the beauty queen being your challenge, long distance being what keeps you together, what brings you together. You are learning about the mature man. They are learning about family. You see them as a karmic connection. And they see you as the dark male. And then we've got wallflower underneath. So the overall energy is the wallflower, so this kind of holding back, not really opening up kind of energy coming back into the reading again when it pertains to a love relationship. So definitely some, you know, expression needs to be had. We've got the Tower, the Judgment card as well. There's definitely some sort of awakening and awareness happening, which is really kind of making this person want to try something new. They cannot, it's like now they know they cannot go back. They have to go forward. They have to try something new. They can't ignore that. And so they are doing that. So, but previously they may have been a bit of a wallflower. They may have been the King of Pentacles or Knight of Pentacles and being very kind of reserved and not said very much when it comes to their emotions, whereas now they are being more expressive. And they intend to be as well, because in their intentions they're intending to be more expressive. So spiritual advice says the obstacles is your spiritual advice. So, you know, obstacles are really just learning points, really, right? They're not actually things that stop us, they're things that make us stronger. So it could be that you may be asked to look at any challenges that you have this month as opportunities for spiritual growth rather than hindrances and real blockages. Really, they're just teaching you how to be a bit more flexible, how to maneuver around different situations and charter different waters than maybe what you're used to. So I think that's about remaining flexible and being open-minded to overcome your obstacles. And what challenges you is the Beauty Queen. So we did have the Empress card here along with the other three here, and it's kind of holding back. A challenge could be that I mean, there could be a third party with Empress and the three there. This Beauty Queen could be a very beautiful third party that is a challenge maybe to you and the family right now. You could be, you know, learning about, you know, the mature man. You could have had certain expectations about a mature man. You know, this could be your partner that you're thinking of. This could be the person that, you know, you're possibly divorcing from. That's why there's family here. There, you know, your ex-husband or your husband is thinking about family and learning how to be a proper dad and learning about responsibility. Now, you know, all the kind of crap's hit the fan and this awareness has come in that maybe you two need to work on a relationship or have a divorce. He could be recognizing that he needs to really pull his weight more as a father and as a family person. And you could also be learning a lot about this too. I mean, if you are the mature man, you could be learning what it really means to be a responsible, mature man. You know, for a long time you could have been a bachelor. You know, maybe suddenly you find yourself in a relationship where you're like, oh, you know, I maybe need to be a bit more mature. And I did say there's a mature energy about this reading. Everyone's being very mature. So, and that's really great, you know, especially when there's kids involved and stuff. But yeah, definitely learning about maturity and responsibility, I think, on your part. Especially if you are, you know, a man watching this reading. And the challenge here is the Beauty Queen. So the challenge could be that, you know, you have an obstacle. It's all about obstacles. Like you see this person as karmic relationship. You could see them as you know, this beautiful woman that you just want to be with, but you've got your family and you know, you're with your wife if it's not working out, and you know it's not working out, but you haven't moved yet, you know, and you see it as karmic, and you've got all these obstacles, and really maybe the universe is saying, you know, they're not really obstacles, they're only obstacles if you let them be. In a sense, it's like you need to make a decision as to what you want. You're making them into obstacles, so maybe you're not making a decision, or maybe it could also be that you might have to kind of slow down and really, you know, just accept that, you know, karma does take time, and these things do take time to process. So your challenge is to kind of stick with the obstacles. When I say stick with the obstacles, as in just accept that they're there, and maybe not fight them so much. Like I said, maybe maneuver around them, work around them in some way, obviously while remaining faithful to those you've made promises to. And you know, morality is important here, but as it is all the time. But you may need to work around this. Like maybe you can maintain a friendship, maybe you can sit down and talk to your wife and explain that, you know, it's not working, you lot can come to an agreement, you know, maybe something like that, if you're both going to be very mature about things. But this is the challenge here. I think someone's seen something they like, and it's kind of spurred all this emotion, it's made you realise exactly how you feel about things. And you know, you see them as karmic because when they've come in now, they've just changed so much. You know, it's not like a normal relationship where they just come in and it's just like, you know, maybe a few events might occur. But for something to come into your life and completely change how you think, you're obviously going to see it as karmic. It's like fate. You see it as fate. And your partner sees you as the dark male. You know, very... maybe slightly mysterious, very sensual, very handsome, earthy kind of person. Yeah, and that's how they see you. But they do see you as quite seductive, I think, with the dark male here. Because you can see he's got his shirt unbuttoned right down to his belly button, so he's slightly flirtatious, you know, very sensual, I would say. And that's how your partner sees you, as quite, you know, quite tempting. And handsome, and tall, dark and handsome kind of type. I mean, if you're a woman watching this, then your partner just sees you as not a dark male, but sees you possibly as just maybe someone that's slightly different maybe to what they're used to. But either way, sees you as very tempting, very seductive. Yeah. I kind of get the feeling that maybe, you know, as it's general, it's quite interlinked. So it could be that you see your partner this way, you see them as a dark male as well. It's quite possible. And maybe you both kind of realise this is the karmic relationship. But this could just be that, you know, there are obstacles that you might have to endure for the month of June. And, you know, for those of you that are single, the obstacles may be around family and being mature about our responsibilities. The challenge will be that there'll be maybe a, you know, very tempting offer made to you. The challenge could also be, you know, you yourself feeling beautiful in yourself. And then we've got the long distance card here. So there is separation, there is maybe this longing to be with somebody. you know, but not maybe not actually being able to get together yet here, where things are still kind of stagnant and there's still a separation between you two. Yeah, so I guess the obstacle probably is the long distance. But that's what kind of keeps you together, is this kind of hope maybe for the future. Or maybe in a way distance has made the heart grow fonder. And that's what actually makes you kind of stay together. Is actually the distance between you two actually just increases the attraction. But still things are taking time to really progress. So that's the reading. I could go on for longer and whatever, but I'll stop it here. I hope you really enjoyed that, Sagittarius. If you'd like your own personal reading where it'll be a lot more specific to your personal situation, I'm more than happy to throw the cards for you. Just get in contact with me at symbolsforliving@gmail.com and I'll set that up for you. I'd also like to mention that I have got my own company called Symbols for Living, where we sell astrology items such as this. This is your postcard, Sagittarius. As you may agree, it's a very, very beautiful depiction of the Sagittarius glyph of the centaur. And then on the back we have your correspondences, amethyst, the colour turquoise, fire being your sign, number 9 being your lucky number. And then we've got a short description here of your sign. So I'll just read it for you actually. I probably should have read the others. Sorry guys, I'll read the other ones for you next month if needed. But yeah, it says here, being the Buddha of the zodiac, you teach your higher knowledge, expanding not only your own but others' consciousness or conscious awareness. The glass is nearly always half full for lucky Sagittarius. So it's a little, you know, almost like funny quote or simple quote just to describe Sagittarius energy. I've also got some mugs. This is the Gemini mug. I would open the Sagittarius one, but I decided not to open them all. I've already opened this one. But it comes in a box like this. And it's packed bubble wrap and sent to whichever address you wish as a present. And I've also got t-shirts as well and sweatshirts and stuff, but I also do pictures as well. So if you like posters of your sign or you really like the design, you can get it blown up into A3. This is Cancer. Sagittarius is around here somewhere. I haven't found that one yet, sorry. But it looks just like this and it's portrait style. So if you're interested in any items, please do check out my Instagram page where a lot of my designs are available for viewing. Unfortunately my website is down, so you have to place any orders through me directly. And I'm more than happy to send you pictures and stuff of the items if you're interested. So take very good care and I'll speak to you next month. Bye.